1899 Season 01 Episode 03 The Fog. Episode Discussion. Season 1 Episode 3 The Fog. Please keep all discussions about this episode or previous ones, and do not discuss later episodes as they might spoil it for those who have yet to see them. Daniel just used his remote control to teleport the Kerberos away. The F is going on? I don't know, but I'm here for it. Just want to say, as someone who speaks Cantonese, it was really funny seeing Olok freeze up and just not know how to react to Lingy LOL. Also kudos for the team keeping all these language barriers real, no lazy writing where someone just telepathically understands each other. They really don't know WTF the other person is saying. On the other hand though, I feel like these characters don't use their hands enough while communicating with a person who doesn't speak their language like they realistically should. Like, Olok said Atamo get you something to eat in Polish and dipped. Lingy probably had zero idea what he said or why he left her there, but all it would take is for him to make the two-finger walking gesture and then this upward turned hand gesturing with fingers pinched together gesture and simulate eating to get his point across easily without just leaving her there confused. Lol. A lot of the multilingual scenes make sense to us the audience because we understand both sides thanks to the subtitles, but a lot of these scenes just don't work in universe because realistically the characters would put a lot more effort into communicating non-verbally. Polish people and Germans at the time def would not have made the hand motion to eat at some point. Pictographs, drawings, may have come into helping communicate if this was a real scenario. Maybe that wasn't the best example, but surely some attempts would be made by all parties, even without knowing for sure that they'd be successful. I think all of them just accepted that the other person doesn't understand them anyway. They just wanna talk. It's not like they're asking questions or so. Because sometimes, if it matters, people ask Ed whether they understand the language. Anyone else absolutely falling in love with Olok. Handsome as hell. Sweet to everyone. That aside, I do wonder how we are gonna deal with the language barrier between a lot of the people in this show, especially with how many potential couples or perhaps duos forming already. I also wonder if this will lean more into fantasy instead of sci-fi or like a blend of both. This is really starting to blow my mind, especially that last scene. Watched the first 3 episodes in one sitting. Time to call it a night. Enjoying it so far and good luck to everyone else smashing it out straight away. Same. I finished 3 episodes. But now it's my time for a good night's sleep lol. Wake up. Can we get Franz a shower or some gauze? Every episode he's freshly bloodied. Actually I find that detail super weird. Like his blood never dries. I'm not saying they're in a simulation, but it's giving him NPC vibes. It's definitely weird. Like, why hasn't he wiped the blood off his face by now? He has a scar in the first episode, right in the same spot where he has the wound now. Have you noticed it? What makes me curious is the glitchiness in them waking up. It has to be some kind of simulation. Prometheus is their version ahead and they are the next evolution. Just thoughts IDK. Had to write them down. The glitches are sus af. They all have triangles in their pupils when they wake up and at work ATM. So I can't go back to confirm, but I think flashes of the pyramid too, like it's the hardware all of this takes place in. Not to mention the green bug going around unlocking doors, like it's a cheat code in a video game, which is basically an intentional bug in a piece of software. I know. I keep thinking it's going to be like Westworld where they are robots in a simulation but don't know it. When you find that your little sister has died after wanking a guy for the very first time. I feel bad for laughing about this. The Killing Moon playing on the last scene, which is a soundtrack of Donnie Darko, hit different. He teleported the ship and maybe the show referred the wormholes and Donnie Darko with that song. The only difference is I think the wormhole goes deep in the sea. You have just crossed over to the Twilight Zone. So everyone got a letter. And Maura maybe not has a letter marked Henry Singleton. Maybe his daughter? Why is no one talking about minute 1600 hours? The crew guy is just tapping the what the fuck? He wasn't just trying it out. He knew what he was doing. He was entering the code he received via a form of telegraph. Yes, but this doesn't seem to be normal, right? He is doing it alone without another one watching. This seems really odd. How did he know this was there? In episode 1 the newspaper said Prometheus was carrying an GT, 1,400 passengers and AMP, 550 crew members. In episode 2, the captain said Kerberos had 1,612 passengers and amp crew total. Just had to put these details down somewhere lol. Maybe the third ship has 1,899 souls on board. OMG wait, of course there's a third ship. And that 1,899 count is brilliant. Here for this theory, the telegraph at the 1555 mark. MLEFKR. Theories on how to interpret it. My idea is must leave fast Kerberos. First letters of Mora Lucian EYK Franz Cresta Ramiro. Probably no correlation, but it was the first thing that popped into my mind. Who's Franz? Franz is that one bald grummet with a beard that's always covered in blood. He has a birthmark on his face. Yeah, I need to know why Franz is always bleeding. No one's outfits change. We see some people in nightgowns or changing, but in the end, they're always in the same outfit. Even the rich, first class. Take Clemence for example. At one point, we see her in her room wearing a dressing robe, yet she's always in the exact same dress, same hair clips, same earrings. The pregnant girl's face is always dirty, even though we see that they have sinks and soap. Day after day, Franz's face is always bloody, but it's fresh blood. Hella sus. They're either all dead or they're in some kind of purgatory. Are my eyes deceiving me, or is that a beetle pattern on the back of Lingia's kimono when she's dancing? Edit. It took 3 episodes for me to realize that Ramiro has a triangle beard. The doctor in the scene with Ada being examined is such an asshole. Of course he is. When Cresta was begging for a doctor in the first episode, he was sat there eating his jam and toast and didn't do a thing. Back when season 1 of Dark came out, I recommended the show to my friends, claiming it had some Donnie Darko vibes. Hearing The Killing Moon this episode made me really happy. Dark is more like The Leftovers in terms of vibe and 12 Monkeys in terms of story. 3 episodes in and so far I think I'm liking it far more than Dark. The show is giving me some serious Lost vibes now. Perhaps the towing of the rotting heavy Prometheus is a metaphor for the towing of your trauma past. I know my trauma feels like that sometimes. Just so dead yet full of weight and stuck to me, despite my best efforts. Okay, at this point my brain is fully melting and I love it. It reminds me of when Lost was good. Just like I said in the episode 2 thread, the last scene points towards some kind of simulation. Daniel and the first mate have some kind of control from the inside. Mora being on the passenger list wasn't something I expected, but maybe she's not the only one. Let's see where this goes. I'm not done watching this episode. Only a few minutes in actually. But I still think these people are the survivors of the first ship and are being experimented on to find out what happened. Like there's still some bigger mystery about what happened to Prometheus, but they're likely locked in wherever they are and their brains are being analyzed as these are happening. There's no way they were actually all facing directly towards the camera in Ep 2's ending. That's not a hidden camera angle. Had the same doubt. Where did they even place the camera over there? More like we're in their heads. Cause that sound at the beginning of each episode wake up. Like someone is monitoring them next to him. Also the fact that the wake up voice is that of Morris. The whole simulation seems to make more and more sense on every episode. Mora always says wake up before their storylines at the ship begin. Henry Singleton I guess at this point, and also some of you think as much. It's Mora's father, which of course means that is Daniel. Then again, the number 3, 1 for each ship and season. I don't get why EYK didn't return the whole book from the boiler, and of course all the main characters got that letter. And no, the Kerberos disappeared to where exactly? If he believes Mora is in on it. Whatever this is, then maybe he doesn't want to let her know he knows.